2014 also, I also lost a great uncle, which I'll tell you guys this. I talked to him one time over the phone uh, in the probably, oh gosh, what, last 5 years or so, or last 4 or 5 years before he died. I talked to him once over the phone, and it sends chills even still that this uncle of mine, who was my grandfather's brother, sounded exactly like my grandfather, like I remember my grandfather sounding, and it was like being transported in through space and time and listening to my grandfather's voice again. It was kind of eerie to talk to him, just because of that. But I mean, we lost him to cancer. Um, and then one that it kind of hit me hard that I I kind of didn't realize would hit me as hard as it did. But guys, Robin freaking Williams. There's a lot of stuff surrounding his death, with him having Parkinson's, and depression and stuff like that. One thing I just want to say to everybody out there: if you're contemplating suicide, it's really not worth it. Seriously, not worth it. Talk to me. Talk to somebody that you trust. Talk to somebody that you don't know at all. Therapists, seek out help in whatever way you can. There are hotlines and everything else. Contact the suicide hotline. I did a public service announcement one for, check back in my videos, check that. Call them. There's somebody there like all the time. Call them. It's really not worth it. But anyway, back to the topic. Back on the ball. So Robin freaking Williams, I mean, his death impacted me more than what I thought it was going to. It really did. And I think it kind of shocked a lot of people. I think it hurt a lot of people, a lot more than what they thought it would. And yeah, that was another tough loss. So yeah, I had like 3 family members, one very close friend that considered herself a sister, and somebody that I kind of idolized for his no apologies, for his way to lift up the spirits of other people, and you know, they all died in the course of one calendar year, and it was a really tough year for me to get through. And let me just tell you, whenever I said farewell to 2014, when the ball dropped, the tears flowed out of regret and remorse, and for the things not said. They flowed pretty much for one of the final times that they were going to. Yes, I was drunk off my ass. I had a bottle of Blue Label, and I had a bottle of Platinum Label. I didn't drink them all, guys. Please, I'm not gonna waste that expensive of a liquor that, trust me, I did not spend for myself. They were gifted to me. I did not spend. I did not take that type of, grade A liquor and kill an entire bottle of it in one sitting. No, there's no way. So yeah, I I started off with Blue and Platinum label, then I went to Di Serono and Fireball and, oh gosh, what else was in there? There was something else, I think. I want to say there was some other type of liquor that I had that night. Guys, I drank a crap ton on New Year's 2014 into 2015. I had a lot of crap that I just really needed to get out. I usually spend New Year's Eve alone. It's really a time of me letting everything go. That, and I'm not a big partier. I'm really kind of an introvert, which is probably another reason why why I haven't made any videos in the last 3 years besides being busy all the time. But yeah, anyway, 2014 into 2015, I was alone, my dog and 2 cats, and whenever the ball dropped, I was drunk off my butt, and I just let it all out. You know, like, you just scream, you curse at everything that angers you. You get all of your anger, frustration, your sadness, remorse, and you just shout it out because you don't give a crap who is out there, because there's nobody else in your house and you can actually do that. It was one of those nights where I would scream into the darkness of what my life was in 2014, and I gave it a big on the way out, and led into 2015 with one mighty hangover, which is my only regret of 2014 into 2015 of that night, because there was certainly a lot of emotions to have gotten out on that night. So yeah, I gave 2014 a big ol' screw you and left it all behind me. 2015 started off with a hangover. Guys, if you're gonna, like, not necessarily mix drinks, I mean, if you're gonna mix drinks, know what you're mixing. If you're of legal age, of course. If you're gonna mix drinks, like your dark liquors and your light liquors, or your sweets and your heavier woody based drinks, your scotches and stuff like that, with the sweet stuff, please know what you're doing, because that was a terrible idea. So yeah, know what you're drinking and how it's going to affect with one another, because that was a bad idea. That gave me one of the worst hangovers I've ever had. So, oh, and in 2014, I also want to say this. In 2014, I had one relationship really kind of worth talking about, and we were kind of crazy about one another. And I'm going to cover this probably in another video about about people who are extremist Christians. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to do a video about that, and I can't promise that it will be curse free, because guys, it really ticks me off. It really does. So, yeah. I had a relationship with somebody that he was one of those guys that went through a Bible college. He was a counselor. Let's see what else. He wasn't out to anybody in his family. So it was really hard for him. and I saw the conflictions that he had in his own life, and I tried to talk to him about it. He's like, well, maybe eventually, and all that stuff, and I do these little voodoo doll for like sympathy magic type things. I mean, that's just a little pride necklace on it, but yeah, I make these little like voodoo doll type things. I don't know if you'd even really call them voodoo dolls, but they're like, let me get back on the ball here. They're like for sympathy magic and stuff like that. And I would crochet these, and I was trying to explain to him what was happening, and I wasn't hiding my practice from him at all. But I would try to explain to him that this is what this means, this is what that means. There's no evil intent in this. We're not controlling people's lives. And then he kind of just went off on the deep end, and he texted me, and I might in the video actually read you the actual text. And he said to me, I want you to go to church and pray with me to the Lord Jesus Christ, and that you will, and I want you to stop making your voodoo dolls and dabbling with magic. And I texted him back. I said, I think we got a problem. Because I'll tell you what, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that isn't comfortable with who I am. And that's one of the lines that I draw. You don't have to practice with me, but you do have to respect what I do. And know that what I do is not evil in any way, is not of ill intent in any way, and that even if it were, that it's not part of your problem. It is something that I do and that I think about, and that I really think about before I cast. Especially after that one came back in somewhat of a weird way. So it's something, especially if I'm going to incorporate, anything that could kind of affect somebody else's will. I seriously think about it, which I think everybody should. So, and I'll talk more about that in another post, because it's truly deserving of a separate post in and of itself. So I really wanted to be in a relationship where I could be who I am in the relationship and have them know that I'm not somebody that's evil. I don't practice evil intents. I don't practice negative intents. And even if I did, I wouldn't practice them without and I can't express this enough, brace yourself, explicit language, a fucking good reason for doing it. And I've had one reason for doing it like that so far. And it almost got to the point where people were almost being killed. And I've discussed this a little bit before, I think, on this channel. I know I've discussed it on the Pagan Perspective before. So, yes, I'm sorry for the explicit language. Please forgive me. If you guys, really hate explicit language, please let me know, because I try to monitor myself as much as possible. But I cannot tell you enough. I seriously think about every single thing that I do as far as who it may hurt, who may be affected by the spell. If it's a spell I'm doing on me, let me cast it all day long. I don't care. Because I'm going to get the repercussions of my actions in its time. In its own way, in its own time. Its repercussions are going to come on me in some way, shape, or form. So, I just had to caveat that, and yes, I'm going to. Guys, I've been like sitting here talking to you for like 45 minutes or so, or however long it's been, so me going that long without a cigarette and with coffee already run dry, you're lucky I'm still here. So, like I said, this is going to be like 2-3 videos. You guys are going to be sick and tired of my voice by the time this is done, and tired of the incessant rambling, but I thought it kind of important to fill you guys in on the last like 3 years. So, yeah.